You are looking at the Raider Gym in Middlebury, where tonight our 2018 high school basketball coverage begins with a Northern Lakes Conference clash. The Warsaw Tigers take on the Northridge Raiders on the 46th game of the week. And how you doing, everybody? Between my Hall of Fame colleagues, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby, and it's great to have you with us for another exciting Friday night of high school basketball on TV 46. The Warsaw Tigers, a traditional power in northern Indiana, but over the last couple of years, they've lost Paul Marandet, they've lost Kyle Mangus, and now they're losing ball games, something they're not accustomed to down in Warsaw.
You know, you get the feeling sometimes they're looking around waiting for those guys to come out of the locker room and score, and they're not going to do it. So you've got some program kids that are pretty solid. Got a couple good athletes in Groninger, and Zach Riley we know is a good athlete. But the basketball players, the kids who are in the gym, you know, for 4 hours a day, not many of them around there right now. They got some good kids on the freshman team, JV team. The seniors have a responsibility, I think, to step up for this team.
Meanwhile, Northridge comes in with a record of 4-3, but they have played one of the toughest schedules in the state of Indiana, so that record may not belie just how good this Raider team is.
And they've got some size, they've got some ability, and they've got a couple, again, you know, we're looking at former football players who wind up being pretty good basketball players, and Connor Otley, who's an outstanding leader, a tough kid. But they've got enough talent, and I think when you look at Ronnie Thomas's teams, they're pretty solid fundamentally. It should be a great contest, so maybe playing at home will be the difference.
Bo Hunt on the sidelines with us again tonight. And Bo, everybody agrees the Northern Lakes Conference is maybe a notch down this year from what it's been. But even with it being a notch down, you can't usually have 2 losses and win this conference. So really, Warsaw finds itself in a must-win situation tonight.
Oh, they do. This conference still at the top of the conference. You got teams like Northwood who probably won't lose 2 games in this conference. It'd be very unlikely if they did, but Warsaw with the 1 loss already, they can afford a second loss this early in the conference play. Northridge, on the other hand, 1 win already in the conference play. They got to continue that if they want to match Northwood.
Should be a dandy one here tonight. We're glad you've joined us, and we've got the Jordan Automotive Keys to win next on the 46th game of the week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by Indiana Criminal Justice, IU South Bend, TCU, Jordan Automotive Group, Bethel College Admissions, Electrical Workers Local 153, Crown Trophy, JV Macri Orthodontics, Bill's Heating, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, Ruoff Home Mortgage, and the IHSAA.
The TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is being brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. Welcome back to Middlebury, everybody, as we get ready for the Reshcore pregame show. Northridge and Warsaw to tip it off tonight in Northern Lakes Conference action. Time now to look at our keys to win, brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. Leading the way for this Warsaw team this year is their junior point guard, Nolan Groninger. They expected him to be a distributor this year, but he has become a scorer as well, averaging over 12 points a game to go with his 5 assists per game. He needs some help on the inside. That's where Tyler Metzinger could come in big, shall we say, 6'7" and a junior. He's averaging almost 7 points and 4 rebounds a game, and they need him to elevate those numbers for Warsaw to have some success tonight. The keys to win for Doug Ogle and the Tigers.
Well, the number 1 key tonight is to make the Raiders earn their points. They've got to make them really work hard, especially in the inside game, and Warsaw needs to pound the ball inside, take advantage of their size. They need to get to the foul line. Doug Ogle said the number 1 key tonight, we have to have more free throw opportunities than they do if we have a chance to win this game. Doug Ogle is 240 and 118 in his 16th season at Warsaw.
Well, to start the game out, to get better starts, we've fallen behind in the first quarter of every game. We've lost round 1, which is the first 4 minutes of the game in every game. So if we can just get off to a better start, that would be huge.
Meanwhile, the Northridge Raiders have a dynamic combination of seniors this year, spearheaded by a couple of double-digit scores. Connor Utley is a 5'9" senior guard who does a little bit of everything for the Raiders. He's scoring 14 points a game. He was an all-Northern Lakes Conference selection a year ago. But their leading scorer is Nick Yoder, a 6-foot senior, 16 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, and he is deadly at the foul line, shooting 91% from the charity stripe this season.
And that's amazing because the team as a whole shoots 82% from the line, so it's a big part of that. The keys to win tonight for Northridge, they have to clear the glass. Make sure Warsaw has a one and done. They have to have an attack mindset. They really have to go after the Tigers. And it's time to step up. This is a team that has enough talent, enough ability, enough size to have a really special year this year under head coach Ronnie Thomas. He's in his 6th season, 67 and 52 in his tenure.
Well, we have strength in numbers. We have 11 guys that we think can really play. So we have strength in numbers, and we can go deep, a lot of different options. But we feel so far our strength's been our senior leadership and Nick Yoder and Connor Utley. They've been really carrying us right now, but tonight we need the other guys to step up too.
Over the years, the Northern Lakes Conference title has gone through Warsaw, and that's exactly what Northridge would like to do tonight. Go through the Tigers. Can they get it done? We're coming back with our opening tip. This has been the Westcor Pregame Show on TV 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week brought to you in part by the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute, who reminds you, whoa, don't text and drive. The weather has held down the crowd a little bit here in Middlebury tonight, but we are ready for basketball and the starting lineups for tonight's game. Here's Bob Nagel.
Well, Chuck, first of all, for the Warsaw Tigers, Nolan Gruninger is going to start at a guard. He wears number 3. Zach Riley will be alongside. Then in the front court, Brian Elliott, who has some pretty good tradition in the name and in his size. Brian Elliott comes into the ball game at a 6'5" sophomore. Also up front, Tyler Metzinger and Jalen Reese. For the Northridge Raiders, Connor Utley will start at a guard position, along with Kyle Carson and Jackson Erickson. Nick Yoder, their leading scorer, will be at a forward position, along with Micah Yoder. So we got some speed, we got some size in both teams, and looking forward to a good ball game. The series history, when you look at it between the two teams, Warsaw dominating at 28-6. First meeting back in 1987, and last meeting, Warsaw winner last year, 36-33. That was on March 1st of 2017. So Warsaw has dominated. Northridge looking forward to an opportunity to maybe get one on the Tigers tonight.
These two coaches very familiar with one another. In fact, Doug Ogle remembers coaching against Ronnie Thomas when Ronnie was a player here at Northridge. And Doug, of course, has had tremendous success at Warsaw, winning 6 sectionals. Ronnie Thomas, good player in high school basketball, and now the 31-year-old 6th-year mentor. Hard to believe that.
What's really tough is I'm looking at names on both rosters, and we broadcast games when their dads were playing, and and that was a while ago. We're looking for a great one here tonight as the Warsaw Tigers show up in their road uniforms, black uniforms with orange and white trim. Northridge in the home whites with green and black trim, and boy, you can't say enough about what they've done with this arena. New seating, a new floor, lighting put in last year. They've really made a commitment to the young people in their community here at the Middlebury schools. And we're ready to jump it up. And here to call tonight's action, my partner, Chuck Freeby.
Jimmy Arnett and his familiar bald pate will toss the ball into the air. And Tyler Metzinger of Warsaw goes up against Micah Yoder, who won the tip, but Jimmy said, yeah, that wasn't a very good toss. So actually, Yoder, I think, corralled the ball while he was still in the jump circle, so it's going to be Warsaw basketball. As you see our officials tonight, Jimmy joined by Kevin Days and the bespectacled Jonathan Hampton.
We talked it over, got it straightened out, and we're ready to go.
So Warsaw comes in with a record of 4-7 on the year. Tigers have really struggled offensively. They're only averaging 44 points a game, but they go down low to Tyler Metzinger here, who gets the first basket of the ball game. Metzinger, as we mentioned, averaging about 7 per contest. Northridge comes in with a record of 4-3. Their last win came over Knox in the consolation game of the Wawasee Holiday Tournament after they lost to St. Joe in the opener. Down the lane, Jackson Erickson finds the bank open on a Friday night. We're not at 2.
Pretty deliberate scoring attempts and good finishes for both teams. We're off to a good start.
Nolan Groninger handles the ball up top. That's Jalen Reese, a 6'4" junior forward. Metzinger again down low. They're trying to work on Micah Yoder, and Metzinger steps on the baseline.
Turnover number 1 of the ball game.
Warsaw averages 11 of those per contest. Ronnie Thomas's team only playing 7 games to this point, among the fewest for any team in the area. He says they'll really get tested here in the month of January. Erickson on fire at the beginning, scores the first 5 points of the game for Northridge. And Bob, that's a guy that Ronnie Thomas told me if he's clicking, we're clicking.
And that's one of the guys Doug Ogle kept telling his guys about. Here's the guys that shoot. No, keep an eye on Erickson. Erickson off to a great start.
Jalen Reese, and now it's Brian Elliott with the basketball. Warsaw typically has players who can do all phases of the game. Metzinger kind of got caught in the lane. Elliott had to flag down the pass, and Erickson gets called for the foul.
Coaches just absolutely can't stand fouls like that away from the basket, especially when it's a scorer and a guy who's off to a good start, but put up with one early.
Groninger down the lane, and Micah Yoder draws the charge. Yoder in terrific position draws the offensive foul on Groninger, much to the delight of Ronnie Thomas.
Middlebury Community Schools, a top-achieving school district, is now accepting tuition-free transfer students. Middlebury Community Schools, where achievement and innovation are hallmarks of a great education.
Warsaw will go to its bench quickly here. Blake Marsh, a 5'11 sophomore, comes in. So does DeAndre Atkins, a 6-foot senior. So here's Erickson. And now Kyle Carson in the starting lineup tonight for Northridge. Down low, it's Nick Yoder. He lost the handle, but there was a reason he got fouled. So Warsaw called for its 3rd foul. Of course, Warsaw, even with its tradition, isn't going to intimidate this Northridge team because look who they've played already this year. Losing to Westview and Riley, 2 top-ranked teams, and also to St. Joe. In fact, Northridge's 3 losses have come to teams with a combined record of 24-3 entering the night's play.
It's either real good scheduling or real bad scheduling, depending on how your team's going.
And then you look at what's ahead for Northridge. Teams like East Noble and Penn and Northwood all coming up this month. It is a juggernaut for the Raiders. Yoder lost the ball out of bounds, so it'll be Warsaw basketball.
Turnovers even at 1 apiece.
Full court pressure offered by Northridge here on Blake Marsh, 5'11 sophomore. Marsh was the leading scorer on the JV team before Doug Ogle brought him up to the varsity for the Champions of Character Classic over at Grace College. Jalen Reese inside, over the top of Nick Yoder, couldn't connect, and the rebound to Carson of Northridge. A Warsaw player was struggling with his shoe. That was DeAndre Atkins, and in the meantime, Northridge traveled.
I want to thank Ruli's of Middlebury, a proud supporter of Northridge Athletics. Ruli's is a family dining Italian-American restaurant offering a full menu including pastas, entrees, and pizza. Visit them at rulispizza.com or at either one of their 2 locations in Middlebury across from the high school or in Elkhart on County Road 17. And a big thank you to the team from Ruli's for feeding our TV crew tonight. Go Northridge Raiders from Ruli's.
DeAndre Atkins down the lane, past the screen, Joey Rowan for 2, and it's 5-4. Warsaw implementing a 1-3-1 look, but now they are back in a man-to-man.
A lot of substitutions early in this ball game, Chuck, and I think coaches are sending a message. We're looking for somebody to step up.
Rowan inside, couldn't hit, and the air ball comes to Jalen Reese. You heard Doug Ogle in the pregame lament the slow starts his team has had. They're working on that tonight, but the shot wouldn't go in. Reese with the offensive rebound, lost it underneath. And the Raiders will try to build on the 1-point lead. Jackson Erickson will handle the ball up top. Down low, Yoder was open, but they couldn't give him the ball.
Nice cut to the basket, but again, Chuck, as you said, just couldn't get it to him. And second turnover. Both teams with 2 turnovers early.
It's interesting with Nolan Groninger on the bench right now. Ronnie Thomas offering this full court pressure, trying to disrupt the Warsaw offense. Elliott with a nice little spin move, but then he walked. And Northridge will go to the bench. Alex Stauffer will check in. Warsaw goes back to its bench, putting Groninger and Metzinger back in the lineup. So perhaps the bench had a chance to deliver a message.
I think so, and get a look at Groninger there on the bench.
Here's Utley handling the basketball. Now Erickson with the left hand. Warsaw trying to get some perimeter defense, but Erickson couldn't get that one to drop, and then we've got a whistle and a foul underneath. I think Rowan just picked one up.
Rowan's first.
That was something you talked to Doug Ogle about this week at practice, the perimeter defense for Warsaw.
It is a concern, and well, everything's a concern when you're struggling, but I think there's a chance for them to be a little bit better. I'd like to see him be more aggressive. He said, you know, anger can be a virtue if it's used the right way. He'd like to see his team get a little emotional about what's going on the floor and in practice and all around.
Zach Riley was handling the ball. Now it's Marsh with the pull-up jumper that was blocked partially. Riley tried to get the putback, couldn't go, and Stauffer collects the loose change. Raiders want to push the tempo a little bit. Stauffer, the big fella on the outside, guarded by Metzinger. That could be a matchup to watch tonight. Utley in traffic, got it to go, no basket, he walked. Yep. Well, you talked about the perimeter defense for Doug Ogle's team, and you see it reflected here in the graphic. Not only are the Tigers struggling with their own three-point shooting, but their opponents are hitting an incredible 42% outside the arc.
And he said again, it's not being aggressive enough defensively. There's a foul called on Utley as he was coming over the back there, and Utley has his first foul. He said there's almost a time issue. The other team gets the ball on the perimeter. Guy's squaring up. The defender says, okay, I got to get out on him. You got to be reacting. You got to be in people's faces before they can square up.
Groninger bouncing off bodies, and the pass goes awry, and then Groninger commits his second foul. And that is huge for Warsaw.
It really is. Groninger averaging 12.8 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 87% free throw shooter, the best one on the team by far. And he's probably going to have to get a little more bench time.
Ryan Elliott checks in, and Doug Ogle said he was going to need other people to step up tonight. Well, now he really needs it because his leading scorer is saddled with foul trouble. Nick Yoder tries to make them pay, but the three is off the mark. And the rebound to Blake Marsh. Adkins loses the handle. And let's see what Warsaw can cobble together offensively. They only trail by one late first quarter.
Elliott is just a sophomore, but saw him do a lot of good things in practice. He's been really coming along and pretty good heritage. He had three uncles that played here for the Tigers and teams that went to Final Fours.
Metzinger is going to try to step up. He snaps the 10-footer. That's 4 for Tyler Metzinger, and the Tigers are back on top.
Northridge hadn't scored in over 2.5 minutes.
Utley has been quiet so far. Tadeo down the baseline, and he draws the contact. So Braden Tadeo, and let's see if they'll call this a shooting foul. Fouls on Zach Riley, his first.
It's his second check. They just updated it on the scoreboard, but
you're right.
So you got Riley and Groninger, a couple of the starters for Warsaw with 2 fouls early. We've still got 1:21 to go first quarter.
And they're going to gamble and put Groninger back in the game here with 1:21 to go in the first quarter, and he's already sitting with 2 fouls. Interesting move by Doug Ogle, and right away a holding call is made, and this might be on Groninger. It is not. It's on Metzinger.
Yeah, I'm going to say you could look at that bench and see who's coming in. That's the first on Metzinger.
Marsh knocks the pass out of bounds, and Northridge will retain possession.
TK Steele proudly supports the Northridge Raiders and wishes them good luck in tonight's game. TK Steele would like to give a shout out to a special senior, number 10, Connor Utley. Have a great year, young man. It already has been. What a great football season he had for Northridge.
All-state defensive back. Erickson had the hot hand early, but he misfires there. And Warsaw comes down with the lead, 6-5. Groninger lost the handle. Here come the Raiders the other way. Erickson is fouled from behind by Marsh.
First foul on Marsh, the 5'9" senior.
You'll get another look from our Bethel College admissions replay. Good hands that time by Erickson to strip the ball. And then Marsh with a very aggressive foul to send Jackson Erickson, a 90% foul shooter, to the line. Free throw sponsored by Middlebury Community Schools. And Erickson now with 6 points as you see Groninger go back to the bench. So it's Erickson 6, Warsaw 6 as he stands at the line. Made them both.
He's done that a lot this year.
Very good check back in.
Very good free throw shooting team, and Roy's so impressed. We go around, you and I go to watch teams practice in preparation for a game, and we'll ask a coach, how you doing at the line? They say, oh, we're pretty good. We're 64%. Virgil Sweet, back in the Valpo days, would say, we got to be 75. And this team is 82%.
Braden Tadeo called for the foul, his first, the team's fourth. Ronnie Thomas not exactly enamored with the call of Jimmy Arnett, but Jimmy not taking a poll tonight.
All 7 points in this first quarter coming from Jackson Erickson.
Jalen Reese right over the top of Nick Yoder, but good coverage on defense, and then Brian Elliott called for a foul underneath. That is already 7 fouls on Warsaw, and so now this plays right into the hands of Northridge. They can go to the line.
It does, Chuck, and then you look at what, our conversation this week with Doug Ogle, looking for people to step up, looking for somebody to carve a little attitude in a game and go out and play like they can. They're good players. I see them you see them in practice, see them in games. They can play. They just, somebody's got to step up. It could be a young man like DeAndre Atkins, just a 6-foot senior, decide tonight's going to be my night.
Tadeo's free throw, by the way, was sponsored by the Middlebury Community Schools. Waning seconds of period number 1. Warsaw trailing by 1. Marsh, the sophomore. Now Atkins, who has played a lot here in the first quarter. Let's see if he'll be the guy to pull the trigger. Marsh with the left hand goes up with the right and gets it to drop. And that's how the first quarter will come to an end. So very good use of the clock by Warsaw at the end of the period. And the sophomore Blake Marsh puts the Tigers up after 1. It's now Warsaw 8, Northridge 7. You're watching high school basketball on TV 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by IU South Bend, fulfilling the promise. And we always promise you quality sideline reports. Let's go downstairs for our first Bills Heating sideline report. That's Bo Hunt.
Yeah, that first quarter there, Warsaw, you talked about Doug talking about his team really trying to get off to that good start. Yes, they're leading 8-7, but they're in foul trouble already here in the first quarter. Also, they just can't hit that shot. They're getting the shot underneath. They just can't get it to the rim and really finish. And I think that's one of the biggest things. They are playing a couple sophomores and some juniors that don't have all that much of playing time and leading this team, but they just need to learn how to finish a little bit better. Northridge on the other side, Utley, Yoder, no points in that first quarter. 2 guys averaging close to 30 combined. Erickson leading the way for them. So look for the second quarter here for Ronnie to do a little bit different things with Utley and Yoder. Guys?
Really good defensive job by Warsaw on that dynamic duo of Northridge in the first quarter, and it's one of the reasons the Tigers are up 1. Utley down low. Nick Yoder couldn't corral it. Now Utley into the paint. And the 3 on the way by Carson, no good. Push-off foul underneath that's going to go on Nick Yoder. So Yoder called for his first. That's the 5th on Northridge. And Warsaw will continue its substitutions with Nolan Groninger. They're trying to milk him as much as they can with those 2 fouls.
Get him in on the offensive set. You know, Chuck, one of the things early on in the ball game, you say, well, Connor Utley didn't get off to a good start. He's probably drawing the top defender maybe that Warsaw has to offer. But with all the fouls, Warsaw has had to make substitutions. He's got to be able to pick it up here in the second quarter.
Elliott takes it inside over Carson, couldn't connect. Battle for the loose ball. Micah Yoder comes out of there with it. You'll meet him at halftime, our TCU Student Athlete of the Week. What a move by Yoder. Couldn't finish. There's Groninger calling out the play.
Warsaw leading on the boards right now, 5-3.
Nearly stolen by Erickson. Metzinger really battling for position down low with Yoder. That will be an interesting matchup to watch.
I saw Brian Elliott's grandpa on the way in today and said he's a good-looking young player. He goes, yeah, he's got to get bigger. I offered him a chance to come to my eating camp this summer. We'll see how it works out.
Here's Elliott. Anybody ever take you up on that?
No.
No, okay.
No, I've had to fend for myself, so to speak.
That might be why nobody comes.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's Marsh. Yoder shot off the baseline on him. But Warsaw content to just work for a good shot. They already lead by 1. Marsh for 3. The iron unkind, and then I believe we've got a Northridge foul underneath.
Looks like Nick Yoder again pushing off on Elliott.
Jimmy Arnett and Jonathan Hampton talk about it. It's going to be called a double foul. And you'll see what happened underneath. Elliott and Yoder got tangled up. Well, I saw the Yoder part of the foul. I'm not sure I saw the Elliott part.
Not sure I did either.
It winds up being the second foul on Yoder. So Joshua Hostetler will come in. And that is also the second foul on Brian Elliott. Because it's a double foul, neither team gets to shoot free throws. So Northridge with a chance to take the lead, down by 1.
We played 2 minutes of the second quarter and no scoring after a low-scoring first quarter. So both teams being very deliberate, looking for a good shot, trying to run their sets.
Utley with the left hand. Elliott shut him off nicely. Erickson exploits the baseline, couldn't score though. And the rebound comes down and a holding call on Northridge. So now Warsaw get a chance to go to the line.
Hochstetler with the foul, the 6'3" junior with his first foul.
Second quarter tonight brought to us by our friends at Rulies of Middlebury.
Head coach Ryan Lightfoot and the Bethel Pilots invite you to join them for a game this season on the campus of Bethel College in Mishawaka. Bring the entire family for a game and enjoy college basketball at its finest. Visit their website at bethelcollege.edu for a complete basketball schedule. The Pilots wishing teams in tonight's action a great game.
Brian Elliott is a 75% free throw shooter on the year. That's his first point of the night for the 6'5" sophomore who had a career-high 10 points against Lake Central. Metzinger checks back in. You see him wearing number 35 there along the foul lane. Elliott, who also plays doubles on the tennis team at Warsaw, doubled up on the effort there, and it's Warsaw's biggest lead at 10-7. Utley down the baseline, and Northridge is getting some good looks. They just can't get them to go.
Utley with good penetration there. Elevated, couldn't get it to go, and ball knocked out of bounds off the hands of Hochstetler. Ronnie Thomas, I think, looking for the same thing Doug Ogle is. Somebody want to come and step up and help take control of the game right now.
Two offenses really struggling here tonight. Elliott backing his way in. Nearly a steal, but Zach Riley couldn't convert. He gets his own rebound though.
Good hustle.
Elliott pull-up jumper from the wing is pure. Brian Elliott now with 4 here in the second quarter, and it's a 5-point Warsaw lead. Timeout called by Northridge. We'll take it as well. 4:50 to go in the first half. And Warsaw, with their fans making the trek to Middlebury tonight, enjoying what they're seeing so far, leading 12-7 on 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is brought to you by Bethel College Admissions. They're equipping for lifelong service. Doug Ogle on that Warsaw bench, where he has been for 16 years since succeeding Al Rhodes. They honored Al down in Warsaw last weekend at the Champions of Character Classic, as he had 4 former assistants, including Doug, coaching in that tournament.
And that was great use of the facility down there at Grace College. What a thrill for kids to get a chance to play in an arena like Grace College, and great tradition down there. Some of the local players have played down there, and they do a great job. And that was really a great night for Al Rhodes. You know, he's at Penn High School, where he played his high school ball, and has a pretty good team this year. Remember back to 1984 state championship at Warsaw. He coached a couple of other places, including the Logansport Berries. But good to have Al in our community. What a terrific coach.
Jackson Erickson from the foul line, short on the shot, and Warsaw's got a breakout. Groninger will go the distance and draw the foul.
You know, Northridge talked before the game, the keys to win included cleaning the glass, but it's been one and done for Northridge tonight. Warsaw's done a pretty good job. They lead in rebounding by 3.
Foul is called on Erickson. That's his second. So both Yoder and Erickson with 2 fouls now for Northridge, as Groninger, an 86% free throw shooter, hits the first.
His sister's doing a nice job down at Indiana Wesleyan.
By the way, that Indiana Wesleyan men's team plays at Bethel tomorrow in a key Crossroads League clash. Groninger averaging 12 per game, has 2 here tonight. And Warsaw has reeled off an 8-0 run here to take this 14-7 lead. Seeing a score like 14-7 reminds me to congratulate our buddy Phil Jensen on his retirement as the Warsaw head football coach.
Outstanding effort here for the Tigers, for Phil Jensen. Good coach and just a really good guy.
But Northridge has been stymied offensively here in the quarter. Micah Yoder changes that with a shot high off the glass. Yoder, the 6'2 senior, only averages 2 points a game, so he's hit his quota.
We'll get to meet him up close and personal at halftime. He was the student athlete of the week.
Stopped an 8-0 run there for Warsaw. Groninger working over Utley. And Nolan Groninger now reels off 4 in a row for Warsaw. Utley covered up well, but he'll take the shot anyway and hit. That's a 2 for Connor Utley, his first basket of the game.
You're asking where the points were going to come from. Utley stepped up. Micah Yoder with the basket.
Well, what's really been impressive here for Warsaw, though, is with both Groninger and Riley saddled with 2 fouls in the first quarter, they've been able to open up this margin. Elliott wants to go one-on-one with Carson, made a nice move but couldn't hit, and then a push-off foul called on Brian Elliott. That would be his 3rd.
Brian's had a couple of misses that were followed by fouls, and again, a sophomore, you just got to be more disciplined than that. You miss a shot or you made a turnover, get over it, get down the floor.
Alex Stauffer will go to the line after DeAndre Atkins checks in for Elliott. Stauffer, a 33% free throw shooter on the year, 6'4 sophomore, takes free throws sponsored by the Middlebury Community Schools. And he couldn't get that one to drop. Good hustle by Yoder, but he couldn't flag it away from Groninger. Couple front end 1-and-1 misses for Northridge tonight have been costly. Metzinger over Stauffer, couldn't get it to go. But North Warsaw uses that height to get the rebound, and then Metzinger is all alone for 2. He has 6, and the Tiger lead is back to 7.
Not bad to go ahead and trade baskets if you're already up by 7.
This is why Ronnie Thomas was so adamant that his team had to do a better job rebounding tonight. They haven't done it so far.
Warsaw doing a good job of keeping 3 guys down deep in the middle of that lane.
Utley couldn't connect on the 3. There's an offensive rebound for Northridge. And a wide open 3 for Carson. The rebound by Reese, but he stepped out of bounds. It'll be Northridge ball.
Chuck, an interesting story. Warsaw Tigers, a young man that we heard about in the football season, might have been playing the quarterback position. Tristan Larson, he's down there helping out with basketball practice just to give them a good look in a practice player.
Stauffer's jumper is off the mark. Boy, Northridge has Surrey down to a stone-cold picnic here tonight.
Somebody left the door open. It's cold outside and cold inside right now for the Northridge Raiders.
Atkins, now Metzinger. Warsaw can afford to be patient. They're up by 7. Groninger finds the open man in Marsh, but he has skewed the 3-pointer. Metzinger from the wing. No good. Stauffer got caught flat-footed, and Metzinger took the ball away.
Warsaw with 10 rebounds to 5 for Northridge.
Groninger pull-up shot. And you give Warsaw that many chances, they're going to make you pay. Groninger now with 6, the biggest lead of the night for Warsaw at 20-11. Doug Ogle wanted a good start from his team tonight. He has received it here in the first half. Stauffer in trouble, found the open man for 3. Tadeo short.
One and done again.
A very ugly first half for the Raiders. And the Tigers hoping to take full advantage.
Well, Chuck, you mentioned it earlier. If you get out of the first half and Connor Utley and Nick Yoder have combined for 2 points, you had a pretty good half defensively.
Northridge maybe with one last shot. Yoder finds an open man. Carson got it off and got it to go. Well, that might give Northridge some momentum, but right now, all the momentum is in the favor of the Warsaw Tigers going to the locker room at halftime. They lead it by a count of 20-13 as the teams go to the locker room. You get one last look at the last basket. As we go downstairs for a Bills Heating Sideline report, Bo Hunt has Doug Ogle.
Coach, you talked about getting off to the fast start. I know you quite didn't get that in the first period, but the second quarter seemed to really come along there a little bit better, but you did get some guys in some foul troubles. Just your thoughts in the first half.
Not real pretty basketball. We're lucky Northridge hasn't shot. Well, I thought we settled down in the second quarter offensively, and I'm proud of how we rebounded there in the second quarter, got some extra possessions, and so the game is 32 minutes, sadly not 16.
Coach, thanks a lot. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Bo. When we come back at the intermission, you'll meet your TCU Student Athletes of the Week. 2 outstanding young men from these basketball programs. Right now, what's outstanding is the Warsaw defensive effort. They've been able to keep Northridge in check, and they lead it 20-13 at the half on the 46 Game of the Week.
And we welcome you back to Northridge High School. We have a chance to interview our Student Athletes of the Week, brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. And with us, a couple of outstanding academic students and good athletes here at these respective schools. Micah Yoder is with us from Northridge High School. And Micah, we always talk to the visitor first, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, we'll be back with you in just a minute. Dane Stuckey is with us from Warsaw High School. And Dane, first of all, congratulations on being singled out for this award. It means you're doing a lot of great things, including your time in basketball and track and field and your academics. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Talk about what that takes to get that done, the time management, the discipline to take care of all the business you got going on.
Well, for me, it's more about priorities. I just got to think about what's more important for me in my life at a certain time, and may it be basketball, maybe academics. I just got to take care of what I need to do and not worry too much about one thing or the other too much, but just try to be well-rounded in my priorities.
You talk about competing in track and field, maybe at the collegiate level, and maybe then you mentioned you want to go into getting a secondary teaching degree. Is there coaching in your future someday?
It's definitely a possibility, yeah. I've been thinking about coaching basketball or track. I love both the sports, so I could really see myself doing that.
What's your plans for college?
College, right now I'm looking at a couple of smaller schools. I want to go to study education and become a history teacher and continue my athletic career.
Good for you, and you haven't made a choice yet where you're going, but that's okay. There's a lot of people want you.
Excuse me?
A lot of people that want you with that academic standing you've got. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, give a shout out to the people that matter in your life, people who have had your back.
Yeah, well, I want to, first off, I got to say thanks so much to my parents. They've supported me every step of the way. All my coaches who helped me out, Coach Ogle, Coach Thacker, my track coach, and just a lot of my family that I can talk to and my friends too.
All right, congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right, Dane Stuckey from Warsaw High School, our student athlete, and Micah Yoder's here from Northridge High School. Micah, you've been involved in basketball, obviously. You're involved in football, and you've had a couple of outstanding experiences there. And boy, when you're playing that many sports, you got to be disciplined about your time as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's kind of hard to juggle school and athletics, but it's definitely worth it.
Times when the friends want to go get a pizza, and you're saying, "I got a paper to do," and you got to make that decision.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Talk about what's ahead for you. What do you want to do collegiately?
Right now, I'm looking at engineering schools, which Indiana has a lot of really good ones. So like Purdue and Trine, looking around at those. So.
In your resume, you said that you would like to maybe even try to find solutions for third world countries. I mean, it's a big undertaking, but great to have those kind of dreams, and you sound like you got some good motivation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to go over and help some people who are a little less fortunate and everything. So, yeah.
Good for you. You got a good experience here at Northridge High School, and I know there's a lot of concern, a lot of caring on the part of athletic officials and coaches that you're getting your job done academically, and you've been able to do that. You got to be really proud of the time discipline and the things that have gone into that, but also the people behind you. Who's had your back?
The classics. My parents, my family, I really like to thank them for everything they've done and they continue to do for me. And it's been really awesome for their support. So.
Good idea not to name a particular teacher, because then somebody else is going to say, hey, what about me? But yeah. Congratulations on your success. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Micah Yoder from Northridge High School and Dane Stuckey from Warsaw High School, our Student Athletes of the Week, brought to you by TCU. They remind you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. We're back with some halftime stats and highlights in just a moment. You're watching the TV46 High School Basketball Game of the Week.
This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Ruoff Home Mortgage, a great name to know when you need a mortgage. Halftime here at the Raider Gym in Middlebury, and Warsaw has a 20-13 lead on the homestanding Northridge squad. Chuck Freeby and Bob Nagel high above the fray here at courtside. And Bob, an impressive first half for Warsaw from the standpoint they got in foul trouble, they didn't panic, and they had people step up.
Yeah, Groninger came back in the ball game and didn't have a choice. We got to have you defensively. You got to be more careful. But he got 6 points on the board. That really helped. There's only 4 players in the scoring column for Northridge in the first half, and 7 points by Erickson in the first quarter was absolutely crucial for them just to be in the ball game. They're down by 7 at halftime. Warsaw is more balanced. They have 5 players who have scored, 7 who have shot the ball tonight. They've had a little bit more, and there have been some highlights. There have been some good baskets here tonight.
Well, let's show you how it got to be this way so far here in Middlebury tonight, because Northridge came out, and as Bob mentioned, a strong first quarter for Jackson Erickson, who first worked inside, then went outside, had 7 points in the first quarter, and Northridge was hanging right with Warsaw, but then all of a sudden Warsaw would go off on an 8-0 run, sparked in part by Brian Elliott. The sophomore had 4 points in the first half. Nolan Groninger, well, you expect him to deliver, and he did. He had 6 points in the first half. And then Tyler Metzinger on the inside, using his size, had 6 points. But really where you would see the size show up for Warsaw as they lead at 20-13 here at the break is in the rebounding column. It is, if this were a fight, you'd stop it.
Well, I'll tell you what, and you talk about how important it would be for Northridge to clean the glass. They're not getting it done. 19-5, the rebounding advantage for Warsaw in that first half. Field goals, so Warsaw pretty good, 8 out of 17, 47%. Northridge, again, they shot the three-pointer maybe more than they would want to. They're 1 out of 7 there, and overall 5 out of 18 for 27%. Free throws, not a big factor, although the fouls have been plentiful. Not many free throws the first half, and the turnovers, again, Warsaw has probably kept them a little closer than they wanted to with some turnovers.
Tell you what, if you're Northridge and you shoot 27% in the first half and only get 5 rebounds, you're lucky to be down by 7. If Northridge wants a shot at winning the NLC title, they got to figure out a way to come back in this one. They trail 20-13 at the half. You're watching the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week. This edition of the TV 46 High School Basketball Game of the Week is brought to you by Crown Trophy. They are nationally known and locally owned. Team's getting ready to come back out for the second half. What kind of adjustments will Northridge make? Let's go down to Bo Hutt for a Bills Heating sideline report.
Guys, got a chance to talk to Ronnie, and he talked offensively that he was kind of happy with the way they were playing. They just weren't hitting any shots. He said they were getting the shots. They just weren't going down. He said free throws, we missed two front ends on 1-and-1s. He goes, that could have went a different way as well. He said defensively, we just need to get after it. We're not putting bodies on anybody. We're not playing defense whatsoever. He said, look for a little bit more up-tempo from their defense. Guys?
I kind of agree. I think they should try to force the tempo on Warsaw a little bit.
Especially, they've got more depth, and Ronnie talked about that going into the ball game. And Chuck, I would imagine that he's had a pretty good man-to-man talk with Nick Yoder. You're our leading scorer at 15.4 per game. You didn't score in the first half. That's not bad luck, son. You got to work harder, and you got to take over as good scorers do. And he's got a way to score at the line. He can score inside and outside. So I would expect to see Nick Yoder have a much better second half, and really was looking forward to seeing him play tonight. We haven't seen him yet this year, and he's been a good performer, one of the top in the area.
Well, Ronnie was a guy that could put some points on the board when he played, had 735 in his Northridge career. We'll see if his team can respond, but Warsaw starts the half with the basketball. Third quarter brought to us by Rulies of Middlebury. Tigers have not lost a game where they've led at halftime this year.
Chuck, they do not mind the deliberate style.
And they don't mind getting the ball to Tyler Metzinger, who has shown that he has the mid-range jumper, which is a shot that seems to be open all the time for high school kids, and they rarely take it. Erickson answers but misses the three, and the rebound to Metzinger.
Well, you don't mind Erickson taking a three. He has that ability. Hit their only three-pointer in the first half.
The question will be, what kind of pace can Warsaw force Northridge to play at here? Groninger trying to back down his man, and great defense that time by Connor Utley. He'll feed Yoder, who got stripped of the ball on the way up, and Northridge will retain possession.
I think Groninger was pretty lucky he didn't get his fourth foul, or his third foul rather. He lowered the shoulder a little bit down there at the offensive end, but all he did was lose the basketball.
Micah Yoder with the turn and pop. It won't go. The rebound out of bounds to Northridge.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is a world-class metal finishing company specializing in plating, coating, testing, and consulting services. 58 years as a knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Reach us on the web at info@iftworldwide.com.
Erickson. Now Nick Yoder. Utley with a good pass. Kyle Carson tripped going after the ball, and Jimmy Arnett originally pointed that it would be Warsaw basketball. And now he'll have a conversation with his colleague Jonathan Hampton and be corrected.
That's what good officials do.
And Jimmy and Jonathan. Just kidding. I know the guys, or I wouldn't have said that.
That's a good crew.
Erickson open for three again. This time he hit it.
Nice.
10 points tonight for Jackson Erickson.
Nice move, and they created enough space for Erickson to have time to square up and get a good look. That was good offensive possession.
Marsh comes the other way, finds Metzinger underneath. Foul, or not fouled, blocked from behind by Carson. Utley into the paint over Metzinger, drew the contact and the foul.
Well, it could be just a 5-point run here if he makes both free throws, but 5 is pretty good when you're down 7.
Connor Utley, an 82% free throw shooter, takes free throws sponsored by TK Steel. Utley averaging 14 a game. Short on that one, and boy, Northridge, a team that shot 83% at the line coming in to tonight's contest. I've got them just 2 out of 5 at the stripe tonight.
Yep.
Three for 6 now. It's a 5-point game. Pressure offered. Metzinger and the Tigers break it. Marsh wing jumper good. Blake Marsh with 4. He was the leading scorer on the JV. 4 is his high total for the varsity. Pass intercepted by Reese. Metzinger. And he's fouled by Mikey Yoder.
Mikey Yoder with the personal foul. Folks, wouldn't it be great to work for a company where their employees are the most valuable asset? Well, now's your chance because Rescore is hiring. They have production positions available in a team-driven environment with excellent benefits that include medical, dental, and a 401k. Working for the steadily growing company isn't just a job, it's a career. To learn more about joining the Rescore family, visit the website at rescore.com. That's RESCHCOR.com.
Reese. And he threw it away. Had he not thrown it away, he probably would have been called for a 3-second violation. Utley looking to get on track. Tadeo for 3.
Good looking shot.
And Warsaw all around the boards, and then a push-off foul called. And I believe this will be on Northridge. Alex Stauffer, the 6'4" sophomore, picks up his first foul.
Ruoff Home Mortgage is proud of our hometown teams and proud to be a part of the community. When you're ready to buy a home or need to refinance your existing mortgage loan, be sure to stop by one of our offices in Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, or go online to ruoff.com. That's RUOFF.com.
Marsh was short on the shot, then Rowan and Metzinger get tangled up for the rebound, and I think they call the foul here on Metzinger. That'll be his 3rd, and you get another look courtesy of Bethel College admissions. And that's where Metzinger was called for the foul, reaching over on the arm of Rowan.
And that's a tough foul for Warsaw. They got to send Metzinger to the bench right now. He's got 8 points leading the way.
But 3 fouls now with 5:04 to go, 3rd quarter. Warsaw still up by 7. Erickson has been the lone guy with a hot hand for Northridge tonight, but they're covering him up nicely. Connor Utley trying to take Groninger baseline. Northridge likes to run a motion offense, but a lot of standing around in this offense right now. Stauffer, the big fellow, with a hook shot for 2.
The New Country heard from. Stauffer didn't score in the first half.
Doug Ogle wants a timeout. We'll take it too. 4:29 to go, 3rd quarter. Warsaw trying to protect a 5-point lead, leading 24-19. Alex Stauffer trying to close the gap on 46. This edition of the 46th Game of the Week brought to you by the electrical workers of Local 153. They're making our community brighter. And you take a look at that Northridge bench, gathered around Ronnie Thomas. They've got to continue their comeback. Folks, want to remind you, Teachers Credit Union understands the importance of growing your future, whether you are growing your family, your square footage, or your business. Teachers Credit Union is here for you with financial solutions that will help you succeed. Visit tcunet.com to start growing your future today. Federally insured by the NCUA, they are an equal housing opportunity lender. Warsaw got a win in its last game of the Champions of Character Classic, knocking off Fishers, as you see some of the Northridge fans enjoying the music here at the Raider Gym. Warsaw trying to make it 2 in a row and get their record up to 5-7 on the year. They lead it by 5 here in the Raider Gym. Zach Riley, now Blake Marsh. Riley underneath, blocked nicely by Carson. Erickson.
Momentum trying hard to put on a white jersey.
And maybe just did with Connor Utley hitting his first 3 of the night. He has 6. We're back to a 2-point game. Back door was open. Marsh went through it and then found Riley, who is fouled on the way up.
A steady comeback here by Northridge. In the second half, they've outscored Warsaw 9-4.
Jackson Erickson picking up his 3rd foul will go to the bench. And Zach Riley, only a 56% free throw shooter, goes to the stripe. But he rattles home the first. Metzinger and Elliott return for the Tigers.
Zach Riley's been an outstanding contributor to Warsaw athletics.
Cornerback and wide receiver on the football team. He's had 3 games in double figures for Doug Ogle's squad this year, but that was his first point tonight. Now has 2. Warsaw ups the ante to 26-22. Utley, can he start to heat up? Yep. He has 8. And if you're Warsaw, that's the guy you don't want to see start to get warm here on this cold January night.
Especially with Erickson on the bench in foul trouble. Maybe you can close down a little bit tighter on the other guys, but Utley got the hot hand.
Groninger guarded by Utley. Ronnie Thomas said they ask so much of Utley. He rarely comes out of the game. He usually guards the other team's best player and has to be their point guard on offense. Other than that, he doesn't do a whole lot for him.
Well, he's a man of steel, isn't he?
He has been known to get a few thefts.
TK Steele.
Joey Rowan called for the foul that time. As you see Nick Yoder check back in. That is the 4th foul on Northridge. Adkins on the cut off the inbounds, got the bucket and the bump.
Good execution on the play.
Doug Ogle, one of the best inbounds coaches in the area, and he draws up another fine play that Adkins takes advantage of. Got the hoop and the arm, and DeAndre will go to the line for the first time this season and got it to go.
Doug Ogle and Steve Austin might be 2 of the best at developing inbounds plays and execution.
We might have to break that one down on the 46 film room on Wednesday.
Absolutely.
29-24, Warsaw on top by 5. Utley takes Riley down low, finds Stauffer, and the big fellow hooks it home. Well, that is what Ronnie Thomas wants to start to see out of that big sophomore.
You know, Chuck, a couple times tonight he's put the ball on the floor in that post position. He did that time as well, but he got away with it.
Groninger hacked in the act. He now has 8.
Indiana Criminal Justice Institute reminds you to drive sober or get pulled over. And folks, use your head. This time of year, it's tough enough to drive with the conditions. Certainly, we want you to drive sober or you will get pulled over. That's from the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute.
Saw Nate Bowman check into the game for Northridge as Groninger, 86% free throw shooter, 2 for 2 at the stripe tonight. He was on the holiday tourney team down at Warsaw. Has had 5 straight games in double figures entering the action tonight.
Northridge going to the bench. Tadeo checks out.
Northridge had it down to a 2-point game, but it's back to a 6-point cushion for Warsaw. Groninger now with 9. Utley for 3. Short that time. Nick Yoder corrals the loose change and travels. It has been a rough night for Nick Yoder.
Folks, if you're interested in improving all areas of your fitness program or sport, join the Strength and Conditioning Center in Mishawaka. Beacon Sports Performance. They offer youth, high school, and adult performance training. Visit the website at Beacon Health and Fitness today. BeaconHealthAndFitness.org. Visit today.
Good passing by Warsaw, but they can't convert. And Carson comes away with the rebound, stolen away. Riley up strong for the bucket and the bump. Get another look from Bethel College admissions.
What a big play by Riley. Heads up. Look at the balance he keeps. Gets the ball, got it high off the glass, and finished.
I don't know if he's an English major, but he had some English on that shot.
He sure did.
Carson called for the foul. Riley can't convert, but Adkins with the offensive rebound. Another rebound woe for Northridge.
They've led by as many as 9, lead by 8 right now, and showing some patience.
Adkins, a kid averaging 1 point a game, has 8 tonight for Warsaw, and they lead it by 11 on the road, and Ronnie Thomas wants timeout. Oh, the Tiger faithful roaring on the other side, and why not? They're enjoying the Adkins diet here in January, as many of us will be. 37-26 Warsaw on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. Relax knowing your family's comfort is their top priority. Voted best of the best by readers of the Goshen News. Doug Ogle feeling like the best of the best right now. His team up by 11 here in the late stages of the third quarter.
And Chuck, they're on pace to score maybe more than 50 points in the ball game, which would be one of their highest outputs of the season.
A team that had only been averaging 44 per contest. Nick Yoder in the corner. The iron unkind, and the ball off Micah Yoder's hand out of bounds. It'll belong to Warsaw.
It was a good play call, a good setup out of the timeout. Got a nice look, just couldn't get it to go.
So Erickson checks back in. Ronnie Thomas desperately trying to get some offense on the floor right now, but I know he hasn't been thrilled with his team's defensive effort tonight either. Riley travels.
Northridge senior Nick Yoder not only came in averaging 15.4 points per game, but 53% shooting from the field, 89 from the free throw line. He's a scorer. I would think that he's still going to find a way to be a factor in this game.
Erickson kicked it back outside. They clear out for Utley. Great feed to Yoder for 2. His first basket of the game for Northridge's leading scorer on the season. Let's see if Warsaw holds for the last shot. A blocking foul on Connor Utley. We want to remind you that next Friday night, more high school basketball comes your way. The #1 team in the state of Indiana, the Measy Anderson and the Riley Wildcats, roll into the Princess City to take on the Marion Knights. Should be a fun Northern Indiana Conference game. Friday night 11, Saturday morning at 9. Nolan Groninger in double figures for the 6th straight game as he has 10 points now.
The teams in this game working toward a great finish, and so is the team from Imagineering Finishing Technologies, partners with industries including aerospace, automotive, military and defense, medical, and precision machining. At IFT, quality is a way of life.
Perhaps psychologically for Northridge, imperative to get this thing to single digits going to the 4th quarter. Utley. Erickson for 3. No good. Warsaw, can they get the shot off? Groninger couldn't get it to go, but everything else has been going the Tigers' way so far, and they may be 8 minutes away from a Northern Lakes Conference win on the road. Warsaw looking strong in the 3rd quarter, opening up a 10-point advantage on Northridge thanks to the play of DeAndre Atkins and company here on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week is being brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, IFT, where quality is a way of life. Warsaw winning in the NLC is a way of life, too. They're up by 10, entering the 4th. Bo Hunt with a Bills Heating sideline report. What has stood out to you about Warsaw's effort tonight?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just their grit and determination in this game especially. You can see them growing as this game was going on. Things weren't quite going as well. And Coach Ogle talked about it at the beginning of the game. He said, we just don't start off well. Well, the team that's out there right now is totally different than the team that started this game. I can see what he's talking about. They're more physical out there. They're more confident. I think that's the biggest area as well. They have so much more confidence at this point in the game than they did at the start. Guys?
That's a great observation, Bo, because it's absolutely right. You just watch them as they drive the ball. As Carson takes the 3, it goes out. And on the loose ball, Nick Yoder called for the going over the back. And you can see it on the other side for Northridge, too. They've kind of lost their confidence offensively.
They really have, and they, they were going inside. You can see the game plan to see what Stauffer can do inside. He did score a bucket inside, actually a couple of buckets in the ball game, but they got a 6'4" kid in there, and they need to go to him more often. But again, Nick Yoder with 2 points going into 4th quarter has got work to do.
Speaking of 6'4" kids, Jalen Reese at the foul line here for Warsaw, 63% free throw shooter, averages a little over 4 points a game. He has 2 here tonight, hitting those 2 free throws. And Warsaw up by 12. Warsaw's not exactly a slouch at the line either. They shoot 74% from the stripe, and they've been very good tonight. Quite frankly, better than Northridge. Nick Yoder inside is fouled by Groninger, and that'll be the 3rd on Nolan.
That's really how aggressive you have to be, too, offensively. You got to be willing to get in there and take the contact, beat him at the line if you have to.
Well, Nick Yoder is an aggressive athlete, 3-sport athlete, also plays football and lacrosse. And this year at the foul line now, 32 out of 35 for the season. Let me help you with the math on that. That's 92%.
He's on a roll.
And he stepped over the foul line as he took the free throw.
Wow.
So wave off the free throw, and it's 40-29 in favor of Warsaw. Jalen Reese triggers the inbound. Erickson was able to knock it out of bounds.
Good hustle by Erickson.
You'll see it here on the Bethel College admissions replay. Now back live, and Warsaw able to get it inbound. Zach Riley double teamed, but he found Reese. There's Groninger finding Riley underneath for 2. Zach Riley with 6 tonight. Very good balance from Warsaw tonight offensively.
Really has been. 10 for Groninger, 4 for Elliott. Atkins has 8. We haven't seen Elliott in a while. He gets those 3 fouls in the first half.
Meanwhile, Mikey Yoder couldn't get that one to go, but hustles down for the rebound. Still Warsaw on a break. Groninger for 2. He's got 12 to lead the Tigers. And it's a 15-point Warsaw lead. I don't think anybody saw this one coming tonight.
Kind of a game that could really elevate Warsaw's, just their mindset. As Bo Hunt pointed out, that was a very good point.
Erickson with a hand in his face hits the jumper. He has 12. It is not over yet. Groninger bumped by Utley. You start to see the frustration for Northridge Sterling.
Middlebury Community Schools, a top-achieving school district, is now accepting tuition-free transfer students. Middlebury Community Schools, where achievement and innovation are hallmarks of a great education.
Nolan Groninger may have set a Warsaw record this year against Whitco. He had 13 assists in the game against the Wildcats, and veteran observers like the Warsaw radio broadcaster Roger Grossman say he can't recall anybody having that many assists in a game. Now, if Nick Moore's watching on YouTube tonight over in Europe, he might quibble with that. 46-31 in favor of the Tigers. Moore, the former Warsaw Tigers standout, then went on to have a fine career at SMU and now playing professionally overseas. Tadeo misses on the shot, but did he go over the back or did a Tiger go over his? It looks like it'll be Northridge possessing the ball as Blake Marsh is called for the foul.
Marsh's third foul.
But that is only the 4th team foul on Warsaw in the second half, so Northridge not shooting yet. Meanwhile, Warsaw double bonus the rest of the way. The Raiders cannot afford to be too deliberate with the basketball here. Erickson gets a floater to go. He's had himself a nice game, 14 for Jackson Erickson.
Really good, considering he came in averaging 9.6 points a game. He's well over his average.
Warsaw, a lot of the Northridge fans feel they got away with a travel, but then the turnover comes the other way. Erickson with the Euro step for 2.
Very nice.
And a timeout called by Ronnie Thomas. 5:25 to go in the 4th quarter. And the junior Jackson Erickson trying to get Northridge back in this one. They trail by 11 on 46. This edition of the TV46 High School Basketball Game of the Week brought to you in part by J.B. Macri Orthodontics. Trust your smile to an expert. And by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV46 for 27 years. Northridge fans have had very few reasons to put up that #1 finger tonight, but that's not stopping this young man from spying the cameras and saying, hey, I want to be on TV. Fortunately, the referee blocked out most of those dance moves.
Well, it's now to crunch time, obviously, for Northridge. They're down by 11. If they can put together a 4-0 run or 6-0 run, obviously there's still time, but I just like the way Warsaw's responded tonight to adversity in foul situations. You know, we saw Elliott early on. Looked like he's going to be a key player in the game. Got his 3rd foul. He's gone out. Warsaw has done better. Doesn't say that it was on Elliott when they weren't playing well, but you got a nice chemistry out there right now.
A lot of younger players on the floor right now for Warsaw. We'll see how they handle this situation. Up by 11 on the road. Trying to get an NLC win, which they're not easy to come by away from home. They have been over the years for Warsaw, though. Their long Northern Lakes Conference win streak snapped earlier this year by Wawasee down at the Tiger Den as Nick Yoder is called for his 4th foul of the night.
Girls basketball tonight, South Bend St. Joseph, a winner over St. Joseph, Michigan.
Tyler Metzinger will go to the foul line, 72% free throw shooter on the year. Metzinger with 8 points tonight.
Concord gets a win tonight over Goshen. Happy New Year, Steve Austin.
Well, that was desperately needed for the Minutemen. Speaking of Northern Lakes Conference teams. You see Alex Stauffer check back into the lineup for Northridge. You look at the NLC this year. Northwood, Memorial, Northridge, and Wawasee, the undefeated teams coming in, but obviously Warsaw trying to change that here tonight. Erickson for three. He has been the Northridge offense in the second half. The junior with 19 tonight. That's a career high for him. His previous career high came out opening night against Elkhart Central.
Like Ronnie Thomas thinking right there, they're going to overplay on our main guy, as Warsaw has pretty much all night. Metzinger gets opportunities, and he's converting. It's a good play call.
Warsaw would love to get a sweep this weekend and some momentum heading into January. They have Fort Wayne Snyder coming to the Tiger Den tomorrow night. First things first, trying to close out the final 4 minutes of this one, and a bad turnover for Warsaw. Not that there are good ones, but that one stops the clock and sends Northridge going the other way.
And it was compounded by a foul on Metzinger, and that is number 4 on Metzinger. So with 3:59 to go, you say, well, it's a 10-point game. Warsaw's in command, and they are, but your top scorer's got 4 fouls for Warsaw. That's been 4 or 5 times tonight. When you talk about the youth and inexperience a little bit of Warsaw. When they've made a mistake, a turnover, a missed shot, they've compounded it by following it up with a foul.
Utley misses. Groninger at the other end. Blocked by Erickson, but there's Riley for the putback. Wow. End-to-end action that ends well for Warsaw. They're up 12. Stauffer underneath for 2. Big fella's had 6, and a timeout called by Northridge with 3:25 to go. We'll keep it here, and the speed limit for Northridge has been 55 this year. They're 4-0 when they hold the opponent to 55 or less. Well, Warsaw sitting there with 50 already.
Doing a good job. As we said, it could be one of their top scoring nights of the season. Folks, Ruli's of Middlebury is proud to support Northridge Athletics. Ruli's is a family dining Italian-American restaurant offering a full menu including pastas, entrees, and pizza. Visit them at rulispizza.com or at either one of their 2 locations in Middlebury across from the high school or in Elkhart on County Road 17. And we want to thank Ruli's. They took on the chore, an unbelievable challenge of feeding our production crew tonight and did a great job. Go Northridge Raiders from the folks at Ruli's.
So 3:25 to go. Warsaw with a 10-point lead. Northridge offering 3/4 court pressure. Jalen Reese will bring the ball over the stripe. There's the trap, but Warsaw was able to break it. Now Groninger fouled by Connor Utley, and that's 4 now on Utley.
Well, you can't use them next game. You might as well use them up if you're behind.
The problem for Northridge, though, is the guys who have 4 fouls, Nick Yoder and Connor Utley, are their leading scorers on the year. And the guy you just fouled, Nolan Groninger, rarely misses at the stripe. He's done it once tonight. He's an 86% free throw shooter on the year.
Zach Riley is just 56% from the line, but tonight he's 2 out of 2.
16 now for Groninger, his season high 21 came at Westview.
10 of those points here in the second half.
Northridge with Carson thinking about the 3, but passing it up and costing them valuable seconds. Erickson for 3. Not that time. Riley knocks the ball out of bounds.
TK Steel proudly supports the Northridge Raiders and wishes them good luck in tonight's game. TK Steel would like to give a shout out to a special senior. Number 10, Connor Utley. Have a great year, young man.
And Utley just threw the ball in off the fanny of Metzinger, got the ball back, and then drew the foul. And if that's on Metzinger, it's his 5th, and it is. He'll leave with 10 points tonight, his 3rd double-figure game of the year.
And with 2:42 to go.
So it could be a battle of attrition. We'll see who's left by the time this one is over. Utley at the line. 1 for 2 tonight. And here's another look at Utley's rather clever play, using the derriere of Metzinger to his advantage.
And then drawing the foul. Heads up play.
10 points now for Connor Utley. And we're back to a 10-point ball game.
Came in averaging 12, and he's got a chance to get that after a tough start. Joe Rowan back in there. Rowan also played football at Northridge, and gives you a body to go. He's only got 2 fouls. He can go out and maybe put the pressure on Warsaw.
Every one of those seniors for Northridge is a multi-sport athlete.
And by the way, one of the top academic groups in athletics here at Northridge this year. What a performance.
Blake Marsh, the sophomore, handles up top along with Nolan Groninger. Elliott is fouled by Rowan.
And Elliott's a pretty good free throw shooter on the season, 75%, but he's also, Chuck, got some fresh legs. He's been sitting for quite a while.
2 for 2 tonight. As you see the cherub-faced Elliott going to the line.
And as I said, my bad, Brian. Folks, head coach Ryan Lightfoot and the Bethel Pilots want to invite you to join them for a game this season on the campus of Bethel College in Mishawaka. Bring the entire family for a game and enjoy college basketball at its finest. Go to the website at bethelcollege.edu for a complete basketball schedule. The Pilots wishing the teams tonight a great game.
Elliott with 5 points now tonight. The Tiger lead back to 11. Utley over the baseline, misses, and the rebound to Elliott. And Warsaw has dominated that area of the game tonight as well. The glass has belonged to the boys from Lake City. And a timeout called by Warsaw with 1:54 to go in this one. And we'll keep it right here.
Folks, wouldn't it be great to work for a company where their employees are their most valuable asset? Well, now's your chance because ReshCore is hiring. They have production positions available in a team-driven environment with excellent benefits that include medical, dental, and a 401k. Working for this steadily growing company isn't just a job, it's a career. To learn more about joining the ReshCore family, visit the website at reshcore.com. That's RESCHCOR.com.
Big Ten doubleheader Saturday on Harvest 103.1. That'll have the heads bobbing all over the place as Nebraska takes on Purdue. The Boilermakers looking for a win over the Cornhuskers at Mackey Arena. 2:15 start. And then Saturday at 5:15, it's Indiana and Minnesota. Big Ten action comes your way on the LaCie, broadcasting 103.1 FM.
So notice there that Notre Dame women's basketball is going to be at Georgia Tech Sunday afternoon at 2. Always good to know where you're going.
A man will be leaving on a jet plane. Hopefully he'll get back again. Groninger for 2 with a nifty scoop. He's got 18. Could be having a conversation with Mr. Hunt in a matter of moments as Erickson buries another 3. Jackson Erickson with 22 points tonight. But it looks like it will be in vain. Riley finds the open man for an easy Elliott layup.
I like the way, I was just going to say, the way Warsaw is staying aggressive on offense. They're not standing around. They're not trying to run clock. They're saying, if you're going to overplay us on the wing, we're going to take the ball inside and score.
Tadeo with a reverse layup, but it wouldn't go. The ball knocked around. Micah Yoder saves it to Tadeo.
Nice job by Rowan to keep that alive.
Braden Tadeo down the lane with the left, drew the blocking foul.
Well, the Warsaw Tigers match baskets with Northridge here in a lot of the second half and even extended that lead again now to 12. And Chuck, I think this has been maybe the best performance for Warsaw this season against a quality opponent.
Absolutely. This and the game against Fishers in the Champions of Character Classic. So they're warming up at the right time as Braden Tadeo gets his first point of the night, the 5'10 senior, and you see Nick Yoder check back in.
A little more balance from Northridge is going to be necessary down the stretch. They got 2 points tonight from Nick Yoder, 1 point from Tadeo, 2 from Carson, 2 from Micah Yoder.
Erickson come up short on that one. And Warsaw with an 11-point lead and just 42 seconds left. And it does not get any easier for Northridge. They've got a once-beaten East Noble team Tuesday night in Kendallville, and then they go down to the Panther Pit to face Northwood next Friday night. And a foul called on Kyle Carson will send Elliott back to the charity stripe.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies is an Indiana company that impacts industries worldwide. Over half a century of quality and excellence has made us the industry knowledge source. We support the efforts of the young people in this game. We're working toward the same goal. That's a great finish.
Brian Elliott, the team's leading three-point shooter, did not have one tonight, but they haven't needed it. And Warsaw will empty the bench. Dane Stuckey will check in along with Jack Gross. So some of the seniors getting some playing time here as the Tigers are going to walk out of here with an NLC win, their first of this season.
Found a way to shorten that drive back to Warsaw, didn't they?
It'll be a fun trip down State Road 15 tonight. Erickson rattles home another three. A 25-point night for Jackson Erickson.
Fun to watch him play tonight.
We'll get another chance to see Northridge in a couple of weeks when they venture down to Plymouth. Erickson from the holster that time. Nick Yoder short on the shot. It's been that kind of night for Northridge. And this one is in the record books as the Warsaw Tigers come to Middlebury and continue their dominance of the series with the Northridge Raiders. They win it by a count of 58-49. Stick around, the Rushcore postgame show with all of our features coming your way next here on 46.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by
Welcome to the Rushcore postgame show following a 58-49 Warsaw win over Northridge here at the Raider Gym in Middlebury tonight. Crowd still milling about here in the Raider Gym. Chuck Freeby and Bob Nagel high above the fray. And Bob, an impressive performance by a Warsaw team which had been on the ropes much of the season. At one time this team was 3-7. Now they've won in a couple in a row, and we saw an impressive performance tonight.
We really did. A bunch of people have stepped up and played better than they have been playing, which is what they need. They faced adversity. Both teams did early in the game with foul trouble, cold shooting, tough rebounding first half for Northridge. They did better in the second half, but it wasn't good enough. And I just thought tonight that maybe, number one, Warsaw reacted better to their adversity. Number two, if you're Nick Yoder, you don't even look at this game. Throw this one away. You're a good player. You're a quality player. You're going to have better nights. Everything that could go wrong tonight seemed to go wrong for Northridge. No excuses there. They know they've got to get better. They've got a tough schedule coming up.
Well, a guy that we thought would be a key player tonight indeed was. He fulfilled the promise, as we expect from our IU South Bend player of the game, and he's standing by now with Bo Hunt.
Standing by with Nolan Groninger. Congratulations on being our player of the game. 18 points tonight. First of all, let's just talk about this victory against Northridge.
It was a great team effort. We came out hard. We played with intensity. It was a good win for us.
Talking to Coach before the game, you talk about you guys having trouble starting the games early and getting off of that good start. Tonight, again, first quarter was kind of sluggish a little bit. Then you guys really found some confidence later in that second quarter and really in the second half. What was the difference? Was there just a change in the attitude on the bench? Was you guys stepping up? What was that?
Everybody just started coming together, and we started believing, and it was just a team effort, a lot of mental toughness.
We've seen a lot of teams here so far this year. You guys are now 5-7. You guys are probably the most scariest 5-7 team I've seen. Just talk about where you guys go from here.
We just want to get better every day in practice, every week, and it'll take some time, but we'll get there.
Congratulations on being our player of the game.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Bo. And I believe Mr. Groninger had a hand in some great plays tonight, but he was not part of our electrical workers electrifying play of the game. That came from DeAndre Atkins, who really gave a spark. Electrical guys don't want to hear about that. Off the bench tonight for the Tigers.
Well, nobody puts Mr. Atkins in the corner. He got the pass, he got the shot, he got the finish, and it was a big, electrifying in that everybody who stepped up in the second half for Warsaw had a big part in this win.
Kid averaging 1 point a game coming in, had 8 tonight, so he's responsible for our electrifying play of the game. And then our Indiana Criminal Justice Institute woe stop of the game, well, that was created by Northridge, which had a few of these tonight defensively. An eraser by Kyle Carson.
Nice stop inside, got the rebound, set up an opportunity.
And that would set up the three-pointer at the other end by Connor Utley. At that point, it's a 2-point ball game. Looked like Northridge would get back in it, but Warsaw prevails tonight, 58-49. And now we turn our attention to the Northern Indiana Conference next week with a chance to see the #1 team in the land.
Looking forward to it. The Marion Knights playing at home will certainly have a home court advantage, but you're playing the #1 team in the state of Indiana, maybe one of the top teams in the country, and one of the top players in Demezy Anderson. I know who's excited about that young man. That's Indiana University.
And a lot of Hoosier fans as well. So Riley and Marion next week. Well, on a cold night like this, it's not always easy to set up. Our thanks to our TV46 crew who brought you this one tonight, led by our outstanding producer-director, Joe Fratina, and the usual cast of characters. Now, a reminder, as we just mentioned, more high school basketball comes your way next Friday night. The top-ranked Riley Wildcats with Division I talents like Demezy Anderson and Shamar Dillard go over to Dragoon Trail and take on the Marion Knights with Michael Hemingway and Jay Nivey. Should be a fun one, and we'll have it for you Friday night, 11, Saturday morning at 9. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook with our social media, including what I'm sure will be the Emmy Award-winning 46 Film Room, which comes your way every Wednesday. Now, for my broadcast partners, they're Hall of Famers, you know, Bob Nagel, Bo Hunt. This is Chuck Freeby. The final score, Warsaw 58, Northridge 49. So long from the middle of Middlebury.